Well, hello and welcome to our live crafting session today. My name's Jenny McCormac and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the centre of the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Thursday evening, the 2nd of February 2023, and I have been working on some of the, or playing with I should say, hardly working, some of the celebration items this week. And Stampin' Up announced yesterday some additional celebration items, and I did mention, oh goodness me, I did mention them briefly in my session yesterday. So this is our celebration brochure, and all of the items in this brochure are still currently available. They're only available till the end of February, and they are available while stocks last, especially as it gets towards the end of the promotional period, so 28th of February. Obviously some items are more popular than others, and also what Stampin' Up have done is introduce some additional items. So if you've already got the items that you want from the catalogue, you can choose additional items which come from the annual but also the spring-summer catalogue, I should say January to April, hardly summer is it? And also from the annual catalogue and also some of the kits. So at this point you can choose anything from the celebration brochure. If you spend £45 or more, you can select any of the £45 products, and that's indicated with the little circle here with £45. It's €60. So if you're in Europe or Ireland, then €60 is the amount you need to spend. And at the back there are a number of items that are available if you spend £90, and that's the Beautifully Happy stamp set, and also the large pack, 48 sheets of 12 by 12 papers. They're also included in that. But Stampin' Up have added some items to that, and this includes 2 different kits, the Kindness Cards kit and the Let's Party Treat packaging kit. That's the one, if you remember, I have done it a while ago, you can dig it out. That's the one with the kangaroo on it, amongst other little characters. You can also choose the white frayed ribbon, Into the Clouds embossing folder, the Songbird Builder Punch from the annual catalogue, the Essential Tag Punch, the Hive 3D embossing folder, the Loveliest Layers Masks, and that's what we're going to use this evening, and also Enjoy the Journey designer series paper. And for £90 you can get for free the Eden's Garden bundle, and that's a beautiful set of stamps and dies, really worth having. So I thought I'd use, and I did ask what people wanted me to do yesterday in the live, and the vote was for using these masks or stencils. I'm sorry about the reflection. So that's what I'm going to use this evening. I'm just looking for my phone, which I have literally here in my hand. Just so I can see who's joined us, but I can't find my phone now, so we'll just carry on without. So if you have joined us live, do say hi and let me know that you're watching, because I definitely can't see whether you're watching today because my phone isn't readily available. So these masks are called Loveliest Layers Masks, and there are 2 parts to it. We have this large mask or stencil, same difference really. This is 6 inches by 6 inches, and you can use this on a card, and you can use a blending brush, a sponge, or a sponge dauber, and apply ink across here in one colour, and then you could actually turn this round and then apply ink in a different colour, so it's in a different position. So you've got this on the far right hand side, and if you turn it round, you've got alternative blocks. So this is I'm going to use separately. Today I just want to show you these fabulous 4 stencils that work together. So we have a flower, which is this one here. Oh, get the right one. Here is the flower, so you can see that. Oh, it's just come out of the way of that. There we go. The area there that's going to have the ink put through it. And then we have, to go with that, a detailed layer that we can use for a darker or a coordinating ink colour. And then to go with that, we also have some leaves and some leaf details, and those all will work together on one. You don't have to use both of those, you could use one or the other. You could just use the leaves and turn them round and have them the other way round, but I'm going to use all 4 layers. I haven't used them before. This is a first for me, so you'll have to bear with me. I've decided to use this panel here, which is die cut with one of the Scallop Contours dies. I thought that would work particularly well, hopefully, with this layer, and I'm hoping this will fit on it. Yeah, so the mask will just about fit on here. You can use a larger piece of card and then cut it down if you wish. You can have a larger piece of card attached to some backing paper. Because we're going to go off the edge of here, you want to make sure that the edge of your card is covered, or that you blend in from the side. So just to be aware of that. So I could choose a larger piece and then die cut it, but I just happened to find this piece to hand. So I thought that might look quite pretty with my flower. And I'm just going to add a small sentiment to this, because I don't think there's going to be much space. By the time I've got my flower and my leaf on my panel, I've only got a small space to play with. Okay, so let us get cracking. I've got a cup of coffee because my hands are so cold. I don't really know why, but my craft room does really warm up when I've got the door shut, which I have, and I do have the heating on, so I'm hoping that my hands are going to come to life, but for the minute I'm just clutching a cup of coffee. So I will just finish that and then get cracking. And I had in mind to use some purples today. Haven't used purples for quite a while, and I've got fresh freesia, gorgeous grape and Highland Heather as my colour choice. So let's start with the flower, and you want to start with the lightest colour. So I'm going to start with fresh freesia, and I'm just going to pop this on here, and it's pretty close to the edge. And I could put a little bit of tape round here. That may be able to do that, but you don't have to, you can just hold it. You could also place it on a stamparatus and attach it to the stamparatus plate. Okay. So let's just pop this layer on. So I'm just going, because it's very close to the edges here, I just want to see where the leaf will go, just to make sure it's going to be on the paper, and it isn't, it's just going to come off the edge. So I am going to cut a separate piece of card, so bear with me, apologies. Okay, so I'm just going to use this piece that's here, and then I can trim it down afterwards. So I'm going to start with this one. Just going to use a little bit of masking tape to hold it onto my card, and it really doesn't matter which way you turn the mask, so you can have it facing in either direction. Hi Heather, how are you? I'm pretty sure I saw a photograph of a card that you made with these masks, and I'm pretty sure I saw you use this one in 2 colours. So if that was the case, it was really stunning. It wouldn't have occurred to me to do it in 2 different colours and turn it round, so I will give that a go. So I've got my flower on here. I'm trying to keep it out of the reflection for you, and I'm just going to start with some fresh freesia. You could use obviously any sets of colours here, and let's see what I have ink wise. Okay, so this is my purple blending brush, but it's not too purple, so just going to pick up some of that colour on there, and then just start blending my ink onto here. Now just bear in mind that because this is like a mylar stencil, that will remain quite inky. The ink is going to sit on top of that, so just be aware when you're putting it down or when you're moving your cardstock that it doesn't pick up that extra ink. Okay. Alright, so that's my lightest colour. Just going to add a little bit here. And obviously you could blend multiple colours within this, so I might add a little bit of a darker centre. Heather saying yes, Highland Heather and gorgeous Grape. Were those the colours you used, or are you just saying yes because that's what I've chosen? Okay. So I'm just going to add, so that's a little bit of fresh freesia, going to add a little bit of Highland Heather, still with that same stencil. Just taking time to make sure it's blended on my brush, but you could use a sponge or a dauber. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this in the middle and around the edges. So the only stamping that we're doing on this card is just the sentiment. And I may not even do that, I might even just leave it plain. Oh, that's what you use. Funny enough, I had in mind, because I just saw it in passing, I had in mind it was blues. But yeah, that's funny, isn't it? But yeah, I loved it, loved the idea. So thank you for that. I will be giving that a go. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a darker mix going on here. So now if I lift this up, you can see we've got our element for our flower stamped on there. Now what I'm going to do is make sure I don't put my card on that. I'm going to bring in this piece here, and so if you want to work out which way round this goes, you could write on it, you know, front and back if you want, but basically you're looking for the center panel and these dots, and these 3 sets of dots will align up with part of these. If you turn it round that way round, I don't know if you can see, the dots don't mix, and also the center is offset. So let's put this in position. I'm going to take my glasses off though, like so, and then I'm just turning it to line up the dots, give or take. Let's pop that down. Just watch out because I've got a little bit of ink on the edge of that. And now I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape to add that detail in. So this is a really therapeutic card, just with stenciling. As I say, you could use daubers as well, you could use sponges, really whatever your preferred medium is, and you can chop and change your colours depending on what inks you have. You could also spritz ink if you had watercolour paper or you used an alcohol blend, and with ink you could just spritz through that. You'd have to be careful lifting it up, but that would also work. So this is Gorgeous Grape, and you can be quite firm with this. Remember, it's only going to add the highlights where you've already stamped, already stenciled, I should say. So we call them masks at Stampin' Up, but they are also stencils. Okay, so what you can do when you've got that far is just lift up one side and see how it's looking. Okay, so if I lift that up to the camera, hopefully you can see that level of detail, and then you can place it back. If you want to add in, you could add in more colour, you could add a bit of yellow in the middle. I'm just going to add a little bit more of this in the centre, like so. And the nice thing is you can leave it, come back to it later. There we go, really pretty. So this is where I've just caught the edge here on the bottom. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, if I wanted to add more colour in, I could go back to my original stencil. I'm going to add my leaf detail now, and this one you can really just position wherever you want. Obviously there's a guideline in terms of where it fits to do with the flowers, because it doesn't fit that way. You could just do a single one here and here, so you don't have to do it as is. I'm just going to stick with it in its sort of desired position, which is on here, and I'm actually using that line where I went over a little bit. Okay, let's add some tape. I did with my other piece. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my greens for the leaves, and I've got soft Seafoam and Granny Apple Green. I might need to go a bit darker. No, I've actually got Pear Pizzazz here, so I might need to go darker. And you want the larger area, the lightest colour, so that the darker colour is the one that goes on top. Right, let's grab a green brush and just pick up some of that ink. Now, as I say, I might need to go darker. Might be right. Thing is, you can add more colour. You can't really take it away. Okay, so I'm going to brush from the centre out. And if I was worried about this edge here, you could just add a little bit of masking tape or a scrap of paper just to put along the edge. I know that I'm going to cut this almost the same size as the panel, so I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let me know how your day has been and what you've been up to today. I've had a busy day today, getting bits and pieces in the post. So people who ordered my stamp set of the week, getting their kits sent out. And I was out at the bookshop this afternoon. Bookshop tomorrow, and then coffee and card in the afternoon, and then coffee and card tomorrow and Monday is featuring those watercolour scenes from the celebration brochure. So I'm really looking forward to doing something different. Okay, so here's my base leaf, like so, and I'm starting from the inside to the out, just to give a little bit of shading, and also so I'm not applying too much ink where it doesn't need to go. So if I lift that one up, there we are, you can see the outside of the leaves. And then let's put the detailed leaves in. Which is here, just lining up the centres, and that's not right somehow. Okay folks, what have I done? That's it. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just looking at the centres. I appreciate you can't necessarily see all of that. So just lining up those centres. I think probably what I would do if I was doing a lot of these, or I was doing a class, is I'd probably put a mark with a Sharpie pen to show where that that lines up with the layer underneath. I'd probably put a black dot there, there and there. Right, let's grab a darker ink, and I'll have to put my glasses on to see who's joined us. Apologies. Heather's the last one who commented, I think, so that's okay. We're up to date. So this is Pear Pizzazz, but I think I've got quite a lot of ink in here. So actually using my blending brush will help disseminate some of the ink. So just going to ink this up. Just keep an eye on the time. Okay. So this is the detailed element. And as I say, the good thing is if you're missing a bit or it's not dark enough, you can go back in and add more. It's quite difficult to take it away. You can use an ink rubber, but you're not going to get the right effect. Okay, so this leaf here, and then all I'm going to do is cut this down and layer it up, and I may or may not add a sentiment. Let's have a look. And what you must remember to do after you've finished is to wipe your stencils down. Otherwise the ink will be on there next time you come to play with them, and then you'll wonder why your yellow flower is yellow and purple. Okay, how pretty is that? Really pretty. And there's nothing to stop you taking this layer and adding another petal behind. So you could just position it here, for example, and just do a very light outline. I would use the smallest petal and put it on there, and then just add an outline if you wanted to. Okay, right, let's trim this down and layer it up. So let's have a look. I'm just going to cut it along that edge there. And in fact, where these edges are, you could deliberately go over the stencil if you wanted to and have a inked border. You could definitely do that. Okay. So actually utilise the edge of the stencil if you wanted to. Right, let's have a look and see how big this is. So if I could make this 13.85, that would work. And let's see how wide it is. If it was 9.5, that would be perfect. And it's 9.7. So I'm just going to trim literally a millimetre off there. Okay, so there's my piece of masking tape attached to my card. Alright, so there's our piece there. And I'm just going to choose my backing paper and decide whether I'm going to add a sentiment. So I have got this for my card, which is Gorgeous Grape. Just looking for my bone folder. And then I'll either add a layer of green or Highland Heather or Fresh Freesia. Choices. Let's have a look. Here's a piece of Pear Pizzazz, which is the darker of those two colours. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me just trim that one down. So that piece is 9.5 by 13.85. So this will be 10 by 14.35, all being well. So basically half a centimetre smaller than the base card and half a centimetre bigger than my panel. So there we go, like so. and then I'm just going to decide which way this is going to go. So let me layer it onto here first. And then I can decide which way it's going to fit onto my card and whether I'm going to go portrait or landscape. So hi to anybody who's joined us. Apologise if I haven't acknowledged you, only because I haven't got my phone next to me to see who's watching. So I've got a card opening from the side here, like that. So I can do that way. That way feels wrong. Could do it that way. I think that is going to be the way that I do it. And I've got a thanks sentiment, a little thanks. That's probably too small. Let me find. Oh, I've got a hello. Let me see. I've got this hello from the Biggest Wish stamp set. Always a useful stamp set to have around. Happens if I have that from the top and that there. That definitely works. Okay, let's stamp that first, and I'm just going to stamp that in Early Espresso just to ground it a little bit. Which is here ready. Oops, yes, I don't need that. Just going to stamp it on the back. Yep, that works nicely. That way. Okay, glasses off. There we are. That's that one. I'm going to layer that onto my card. So a scribble of glue, not too thick. Make sure my card is opening the right way. So this is a tent fold portrait card. And the blended inks will be dry. There we go, there's our finished card, and I'm just going to add a little bit of bling, and I think I've got, what have I got, just a hand. Those are a little bit pale. Let me grab something else. Let's see. I've got these ones here. They would work because they're gorgeous grape. They come in 3 sizes, 4 different colours. And I'm just going to pop those, 3 of those on. So I could use 3. These are quite nice, these sets of 3 here anyway. But let's have a look. And these are nice and flat. I like these. I might do that. Add 1, 2, and 3. There we go. So my final touch will be to just put an inner inside that I'll just do a white inner either with a sentiment or maybe just the edge of the leaf. That would look quite nice. Actually, I might just do that quickly. And that's it. So I do like working with masks. Just be careful, as I said, to make sure that you clean the masks off in between. You might find it handy to mark which is the front of each one, so that you don't turn it over and then transfer any ink onto it, which is probably what I'm about to do now. There we go. I'm going to pop that on there, and I'm going to add just the leaves, I think. Okay, just in that corner I think would work. So I can see this is the edge that's got the ink on it. So just going to hold that down there. Probably got enough ink to do that the way through. There's one bit there, so it's just moved a little bit, but I think I'll be right. So just being careful of this edge, like so, but I could do it a little bit further. Like that. But if you're worried about going over the edge, just grab a scrap of paper and just butt it up to the edge of the stencil, then you'd be fine. There we go. And then let's just put the detail on and we're done. And I'm just going to add a little bit more ink to darken that up. Glasses are off again. Look a bit like antlers, don't they? There we go. And I'm just going to pop that inside, and I could add the word friend, but I'm just going to leave it like that, and our card is done. So I hope you like that. I say these are the Loveliest Layers Decorative Masks. A bit of a mouthful, I'm afraid. They're in the January to April catalogue. And there's 5 masks altogether, so the large one and the 4 ones that work together here. And they're £10 if you buy them straight from the catalogue, but at the moment until the end of February you can choose this as a free item if you spend £45 or more in our shop. So thank you so much. I hope you liked that. Thank you for joining me, and I shall be back. I'll be back Monday, but I might nip on tomorrow to give this a go with Heather's design. I haven't seen anybody else do it, so Heather, thank you for that. I might nip on tomorrow and do that, but if not, I will definitely be back on Monday. But I love the finished effect. You could also cut round these leaves and create a 3D flower if you wanted to, but I like it just like that, small and sweet. Brilliant. Thank you so much, and do take care. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're watching from and when you're watching. And if you do have any queries or questions, don't hesitate to pop a question in the comment section. And if you're watching me on Facebook, you're more than welcome to like my page and tick the notifications button so you get notified when I go live. And if you're on YouTube and you like what I do, you can use the subscribe button and click the little bell symbol, and again you'll get notified when I upload new videos or if I go live on YouTube. Thank you so much. Do take care, enjoy the rest of your day and keep crafting. Bye for now.